Hello everybody, Backyard Bullion here, and welcome to episode 71 of In Focus Friday. So last week we had a look at the Silver Vessel logo bar, really stunning piece of hand-poured silver by the man himself, Silver Vessel. If you haven't checked it out yet, go and have a look, the link's in the description below, well worth a look, it's very, very cool and seemed to be very popular with you guys in the comment section last week. So as I said, links in the description below, go and check it out. So the vote last week, clear favourite was the crown. Thank you very much for voting if you did. There will be a vote at the end of this episode, so make sure you stick around and decide what you'd like to have a look at next week. But here we go, here is the crown. Now this is a very cool coin indeed. It's one I picked up from eBay of all places, and it was an auction. And again, with the auctions that I tend to win, they tend to be ones which finish at odd times of day. I think this one was about 11:30 at night on a weekday, and I put a bid, went to bed, and then woke up in the morning and saw that I won it, and didn't overpay ridiculously. I think it was about £18 for it, which for a crown these days is not too bad, and especially one which is in a pretty nice condition like this, because you don't often find, because this is from 1819 as you see there, so it's 198 years old, or 199 years old really, nearly. Yeah, you don't often find them in as good a condition as this. This is still obviously very worn condition, but you can at least make out all of the features. You can see all of the edge lettering all around here as well. So quite happy with the way that it looks for the price that I paid, and of course I get to share it here on In Focus Friday with you good people. But here we go, this is the coin now. You can probably recognise this design as the Benedetto Pistrucci St George and the dragon, with St George slaying the dragon there, and that's a very commonly used design on all of the crowns. Well, not all of the crowns, but most of the crowns. You know, there have been a few exceptions. I think in 1935 there was a rocking horse crown, and obviously some of the modern ones were changed up as well. But it was a very commonly used design for this coin. Now, a bit of history around the crown. So the crown coin is worth 5 shillings. And it is made out of 925 silver, so sterling silver. It weighs when brand new, they weigh 28.28 grams. I should have got my scales out to see how much this one weighs. It'll probably be less, obviously, because of the wearing. It's 38 millimeters in diameter, so it's a good, lovely size coin. And yeah, just generally, it's very pleasurable to sort of hold and feel, and nice and weighty coin. It's 28 grams, so just under an ounce. But yeah, there we go. Now, in terms of history, 1817 was the first year, I think, or 1818, I think, was the first year for these coins. The 1817 was the first year for the Benedetto Pistrucci St George and the Dragon, and George III, who you see here in his all his glory, and he doesn't look that flattering on this this coin, and I'll go into sort of a couple of the reasons for that maybe in a little bit. But this was the first monarch that had these crowns. There were sort of crown coins before that, but this was when it sort of really, the history of the crown kind of really started, as inflation had kind of grown to the point where a 5 shilling coin was actually a lot more practical than it had been in previous decades. So yeah, 1818 I think was the first year for these particular types of coins, and we had the kind of traditional garter design here, and then that changed to the more recognisable one you see on the kind of Victoria sovereigns later in history as well. But yeah, St George, he's not St George. George III was monarch in the United Kingdom. He was king from 1760 to 1820. So he was the king that lost the Americas. He was, you know, troubled chap in his later life, to say the least. He had bouts of very severe mental illness, and then I think it was in 1811, from what I remember on having done my research, he was kind of regented, or his son took over as Prince Regent, George IV, and then George III was still technically king, as it's a job till death, but he then finally passed away in 1820. But he was dubbed the Mad King, and there's, you know, in popular media in today, you know, when you see Blackadder and things like that, you see the Prince Regent in Blackadder with the Mad King as this invisible figure in the background, and you know, he was stark raving mad apparently. But anyway, the coin itself is very, very cool. There's some interesting inscriptions around the coin. So this one I find really interesting. So you're going to test my Latin pronunciation here, but basically around the coin it says "Honi soit qui mal y pense," and that translated means basically, it can be translated different ways, but may he be shamed who thinks badly of it. And that's a very odd thing to have a coin on a coin, I think. But hey ho, you know, that's what the decision was made. So it's very interesting, I think. And then around the edge of the coin, we have another. It's upside down. Another inscription. And if I can get to the bit at the front, so I think the anno is the first word. So here we go. Anno. It's hard to read. Regini Lix or LX. Decus et tutamen, and that means the 59th year of reign with honour and security. So this was obviously minted in his 59th year of reign, and he was actually a very long-serving king. He was on the throne for a very long time. Yeah, very interesting. Now there's one other little feature I wanted to share with you guys about this coin, because I hadn't seen it before, and this is very interesting for me as a kind of coin buff and a coin collector. So you'll see underneath the George and the Dragon that there are those little dots, and those little dots are actually Petrucci's name. I don't know if you can really make them out because I don't know how worn they are, but it will spell out Petrucci. And so that is a really fascinating thing, because all of the other, I think I've got one other of these crowns from this age, and they are very, very much worn, more worn than this, and you can hardly make anything out, and that's certainly not visible on the other coins. So very interesting indeed. But there we go. So that's the crown. Very interesting coin. Love old coins like that with 200+ year histories or 200-year histories. They are fascinating. I just think about the, where it's been, what it's seen, and where it's travelled to. It's just quite amazing to think about, really. So yeah. I hope you enjoyed that. Do comment on it if you like that coin. Now, in next week's episode, we are going to have we've got a vote for next week's episode. So we're going to have the returning items. We've got the Geiger Square, which I picked up through Laura Blade, and then returning this week we have the Pit Bullion 2-ounce Metals Mafia bar. So if you would like to see either of them, then please do comment. And then the last item is the Morgan dollar. So I've featured peace dollars before on InFocus Friday, but I haven't done the Morgan dollar yet. And this is the one that I picked up from Laura Blade as well. So Laura Blade contributing heavily to the InFocus Friday fodder. So if you'd like to see any of those, then please do comment in this video. That would be very cool, and then we'll see what happens in the vote for next week. If you like this video, please put a thumbs up on it and share it around on your social media. That would be very helpful indeed. If you haven't subscribed already, hit that subscribe button, hit the notification alarm bell, and you'll get a notification whenever I upload future videos. Otherwise, all that's left for me to say is thank you very much for watching. Have a very happy weekend, and please make sure that you like, share, comment and subscribe for more.